This past week was Jeff Keighley's Summer Gamefest, where a lot of really cool video game announcements were made. It's been a full week since the main presentation, so I wanted to take a look back and revisit what really got me excited. Howdy Hello, and welcome to AlphaPhenomenon Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Phat Love, and I'll be taking you on a journey through gaming with reviews, news, and commentary. There are 11 games in this year's Gamefest that I wanted to specifically highlight that excited me. So let's waste no time getting into my first one. Let me set the scene. The scene opens to a top-down view looking onto the streets of Paris from above. The camera switches to an unknown woman in first person, ringing the doorbell of an apartment building. An elderly woman answers and escorts her inside and takes her to an apartment on the 3rd floor where the woman's brother is living. Upon entering, the apartment is empty and there's a mess around the living area. The phone rings down the hall and the elderly woman leaves the room to answer the distant call. As the woman is left alone to look around, there's a sudden knock on the front door, taking her attention. She walks to the front door and looks through the peephole to see nobody on the other side. With a seemingly empty hallway on the other side, she opens the door and puts her head out to investigate. But instead, a hand reaches from her side, grabbing her. In a sudden flash, the scene changes and we are greeted by several environmental areas and the title screen of Resident Evil Veronica. That's right, our next remake is Code Veronica, one that I missed the first time around and am looking forward to finally getting a chance to play with the reveal of 2027. Now, I assume all of the spring games already announced for next year. This is likely a summer release or fall release, so I'm looking forward to what they show next. These remakes are allowing me to get fully introduced to the Resident Evil franchise, as I only ever played a few miscellaneous entries here and there, but the characters and the lore, as they jumped around, they kept me interested and invested. This was a great way to open the showcase and set the expectation for the remainder of the show. Alien Isolation 2 was officially announced, and while I have downloaded, but have yet to play the first entry, I can't help but still be excited, as I am a huge fan of the Alien franchise and love the movies. Now, this trailer shows very little, as they did the IGN preview a few days after the showcase, but that's alright, because part of the fun of the game will be exploring it on your own. The feeling of isolation and the tense horror of hiding from an apex predator. Yeah, that's right. I'll be watching this as we get closer to release. The reveal trailer for Blood Message was more of a cinematic story with a few flashes of gameplay, but what I mostly took away was the graphics looking absolutely insane, a common theme amongst many of the announcements this year, and a story being something tragic, the price of war. Now, the day after the showcase, IGN posted a 19-minute exclusive look at gameplay, and in that time, I was swayed from just another pretty game to, let's add this to my wish list and keep tabs. The gameplay took place over a large area with multiple fight scenes, your companion fighting right alongside you. Not sure if it's AI or if it's just computer generated, but to me at least, this had some elements of Assassin's Creed parkour when the chase sequences begun, and that excites me a lot. As a big fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, they got a lot of that stuff right. The transition from gameplay to cutscene was also very smooth. With no confirmed release date, we are likely going to see this go dark for a while, as this could be a ways out. Let's be honest. I'm thinking 2028 as a possibility. Either way, until we see it again, I enjoyed what I saw and look forward to seeing it again, if we're lucky, at Gamescom in August. Dead by Daylight popped in briefly, announcing its 10th anniversary and showing off Jason as the new killer, which was already previously announced by the studio. Now, I wanted to include this because I have played hundreds of hours of Dead by Daylight, and I understand why this game continues to be popular. But it shocks me that it's already been 10 years, and we have spin-off games, and the main entry is still being supported with licensed killers and new modes and maps. I have consistently been impressed, as every other asymmetrical 1 versus 3, 4, 5, whatever has not been at the level of success that Dead by Daylight has managed to accomplish. It's an impressive feat, and a reminder that I haven't played in quite some time. This might be a reminder to reach out to the squad and see who's interested in returning to the fog yet again. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced was officially announced back in April, and I was initially very excited as I had heard high praise for the original title, but had missed my chance to play it during its prime. Now that we are getting it again dubbed Resynced, I couldn't be more excited to dive into the story and experience what I missed the first time around. The trailer at Summer Gamefest wasn't long or extensive, as we had that previous announcement in April, but a reminder that this one is coming very soon on July 9th. I watched the Guild Wars 3 announcement at Summer Gamefest and rolled my eyes, having zero interest at first. Then, during the IGN Live interview about the game, discovered this is a standalone entry and that they are attempting to build something with no battle passes or live service content. They also said it's a great starting point because the time this takes place is far enough away from the first and second entry in the series that it can be an entry all on its own for first-timers in the series. While I still have low interest, that interview impressed me enough to put a pin of it in the back of my mind for later announcements about the game. The real determining factor is release date, platform, and content at launch. I guess like most games on this list, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm writing my scripts a little out of order because I originally wanted to cover the big 3 platform showings, but then I realized how much I actually enjoyed from Summer Game Fest and knew I had to cover it also as a standalone podcast. That being said, this next entry pops up again on my Nintendo Direct episode because I'm not sure if I want to buy this, and if I do, on what platform. The game is RuneScape Dragon Wilds. Just like my previously mentioned Guild Wars 3, RuneScape is taking a new approach. This entry will be entirely single player or co-op and will support cross-play if you have buddies on a different console that want to play with you. On one hand, my PlayStation is my go-to console for games, but my Switch 2 is also portable and gives me a chance to play anywhere, with it being single player and not tied to an internet connection. Again, I'm not sold on this title either, but it looks very cool, and I do think I'd have fun playing this if I were to pick it up. The real challenge is finding a friend who feels the same way. Version 1.0 launches on September 15, when Marvel's Wolverine also drops, so while it won't be a day one purchase, I could see it being a holiday or spring 2027 game. We'll have to see how the cards fall at that time, come a few months. My most anticipated game of the year is a turn-based strategy game releasing exclusively for the Nintendo Switch 2 console. You'll hear me rave about that when I release the Nintendo Direct podcast episode. However, my favorite sci-fi universe is Star Wars. Now, what do these two things have in common with Summer Game Fest? We finally got an update on Star Wars Zero Company, a turn-based strategy Star Wars game. I was already sold on this by concept alone, but seeing a new trailer and then a review from IGN while at the showcase, I'm in 100% there for the game. Go look this one up because it looks incredible. The Blood of Dawnwalker got a new trailer at Summer Game Fest and showed the story of the world continuing in modern times. It was a bold choice and an interesting advertisement, as the game has not yet launched, and its actual time period is far earlier than what was depicted in the trailer at Summer Gamefest. Now, the ex-Witcher devs already have me sold on everything they've shown off thus far. The dev diaries, the deep dives, the lore, and the world you'll be playing in. Let me just say this very plainly. I am so there. Look this one up if you haven't had a chance to. Their official YouTube page has so much already released showing off the game, early concepts, mission, branching storylines, things of that nature. This is going to be a massive, deep RPG with so many ways to play it and a replayability that will keep you coming back for a long time. If you're looking for something to play while you're waiting for The Witcher 3 DLC that was announced or The Witcher 4 coming far down the road, this will be sure to scratch that itch. It's just a shame it releases amongst so many huge September releases, a casualty of GTA 6, and likely something people won't truly get to appreciate until next year. My final game is a 2-for-1, and no, it's not Final Fantasy VII. I'm sure I would have loved those games, but the timing never lined up for me to play them. No, my final game is The Wolf Among Us 2, announced officially for 2027. I won't rehash the entire story of Telltale Studios, but I thought this project was scrapped. The studio was gone. Then it wasn't. Then it went dark for a long time. Now it's back. I have whiplash just summarizing it again. All I know is, hear me when I say this, we are so back. Not only are we back, it was also announced we're getting a remaster of the first game, and it's coming soon, holiday 2026. I am confident most of the game reveals at Gamescom in August this year will be teases for 2027, so I can confidently say that gaming in 2026 is peak, and we have never eaten better as gamers. Sure, we have the rising cost of consoles, and AI is raising the cost of living in general, not to mention the gas prices, the social and economic climates, the uneasy truth of the stock market. Owning a house is likely an impossibility, as millions of Americans will dream for it but never get close. And we've never also been closer to the rapture than we are now. Jesus, I am ready. Please don't leave me in this mess. The world is going crazy. Please, Jesus, please rapture me now before the chaos ensues and the world closes in around all of us. But hey, let's focus on what truly matters, the thing that takes us away from all of that and lets us feel some peace, no matter how little, for a small window of time, a weekend reprieve. Summer Gamefest showed up, and while it wasn't the best showcase of all time, it was still very strong. If you're keeping track, I found 11 games, 11 entries worth taking my time to talk about. And the previous PlayStation State of Play had 5, so we're sitting on 16 games, and that's far more than I can tackle in the remaining months we have left this year. The backlog will grow, as it should, when devs and game studios release great-looking games. Now, up next, we have the Xbox Games Showcase, and I look forward to sharing that with you. So be sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow the podcast on Spotify, because that's where I check and respond to the comments. Let me know your favorite announcements from Summer Game Fest, and until next time, this has been Phat Love. Peace. That's all I've got to say. If you played it, let me know what you thought. Hit me up on YouTube or leave a comment on Spotify. Thanks for listening. I'm Phat Love, and this has been AlphaPhenomenon Gaming Podcast. Peace.